All right, so I'm here with TK Coleman. He is the co-founder of Praxis. So can you just explain what is Praxis?
Absolutely. Praxis is an apprenticeship program. It's a 12-month program where participants spend 6 months doing an entrepreneurial boot camp, and then they spend the subsequent 6 months working with one of the startups in our business partner network. And the purpose of the program is to help young people discover and do what makes them come alive. And we go about that by shifting the educational experience from the classroom to the marketplace. We believe that the best context to learn how to create value is in a system where the profit, the loss, the risk, it's all real. And that's the kind of experience we provide.
Okay, and so you're a very liberty-minded individual. How did you first get introduced to libertarianism and the philosophy around that?
Yeah, the philosophy of freedom has always been implicitly a part of my life. I've never been what you describe as a political person. I was never taught to look to politics as the source of my power, the source of my salvation, the source of my life. I was always taught to trust in things like creativity, things like our capacity for innovation, our capacity for self-determination. So for me, it was more a matter of meeting people in the liberty movement and learning that this is a way of thinking that has existed for a long time, right? And that not everybody thinks of this as an irresponsible way of thinking, because there are a lot of people who feel like if you're not looking to politicians, looking to get the right person in office as your primary theory of social change, something's wrong with you. But once I started to discover the rich tradition of literature and started studying economics and learning about the Austrian school, that's when I kind of began to kind of refine my understanding of this philosophy.
Yeah, and I've heard you say before in one of your talks that you don't just want to be a cheerleader for liberty like a lot of people. You actually want to empower people in the current state that we're in right now to become entrepreneurs and not just be complaining about the government and yeah, I mean, is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, politics is a very slow-moving process. And as many people have said before me, it is a lagging indicator of social, cultural change that begins with people like you and I. So even if you can make a case that politics does good and moves us closer to liberty, it can't happen unless entrepreneurs actually supply the tools and technologies with which they can fight, right?
Yeah.
So anytime you create, anytime you innovate, you are giving people new means by which they can express existing freedom and fight for new freedoms. So I think entrepreneurship, I think creativity, innovation is always where the action is.
Yeah.
And whenever there has been any significant change in history, it's been because of that kind of work. Politicians, however, are phenomenal. They're absolutely phenomenal at centering themselves in the middle of movements and positioning themselves as the poster boy for freedom, which is why when we learn about history in school, we learn what Stephen Davies calls the myth of the great man, right? Where we don't learn about technology and science and innovation and art as the real hero. We learn that the real hero is that particular politician. So we get caught up in this mentality of trying to change the world by getting people who have power to use it on our behalf. And the message that I want to bring is actually power begins with you.
Yeah.
And your power isn't limited to casting a vote every 4 years. Your power begins now with your decision to step up and do what you can do to make the world a better place. So the talk I'll be giving tomorrow, the core message is if you want to change the world, find something you believe in and get involved in the marketplace. Do it for the money.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's a really powerful message. But I'll be looking forward to your talk tomorrow. That was it. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, I'll be looking forward. Nice talking to you.
Yeah,
Take
thank
care.
you.